Okay, here we go. So let's first start off by just making a new file to work in. So we have some clean, we'll just call it exercises.sql, just so we have a nice place to put the answers. Okay, so our first one here, find the earliest date a user joined. And we're not selecting anything except the earliest date. So all we need to do is take advantage of created at and use the min operator, the min function. So it's just a matter of select min created at from users. And we'll save that. Copy it, paste it, and the one that I get here looks like this. So 2016-501. Notice it says earliest date, so that's the easier part to fix. And then notice the format. So let's do as earliest date first. That will make it cleaner. Then we need to format the date. So I'm going to put this on a new line. And the way that we format, remember, is we use date underscore format. Think back to our date section. So we're formatting the result of the minimum created at, which is this. And we have a second argument, which is the date string, how we want to format it. And the one I gave you had the month name, which I believe is capital M, and then the day with the suffix, which is, I believe, capital D, and then the year, four numbers, capital Y. So you need percent, capital D, percent, capital M, nope, backwards. Capital M, percent, capital D, percent, capital Y. Let's see. Oh, I have to copy this, paste it in. And there we go, May 1st, 2016. Okay, look, we're only a day off from the first data set that I added. When I made these exercises, I had a different set of data, and you just watched me rerun it, delete it all, create 500 new ones. So these will be slightly different than my answers too. Next, find the email of that user. So the same one that we just found, this was the earliest date. How do we find the email? So let me label this challenge 1. In this one, we have to use a subquery, because basically what we're trying to do is, well, first we can clean this up a bit. We don't need to format this one. But basically what we're trying to do is take this earliest date, which looks like this. And then we want to do a select, we'll do an email from users where created at is equal to that date. How do we find that user? So let's just do it manually. It looks like our answer is colebailey@yahoo.com. So we can use a subquery to help us, where all we have to do, we can get rid of this and say select email, comma, created at, or we could just say select star to make it shorter, from users where created at equals, and then we have to do our subquery, select min created at from users. So those parentheses indicate that this is a query that needs to happen. So this is evaluated. What is min created at? Well, I need my parentheses to work there. There we go. What is the min created at? Well, it's going to be this. So then basically this whole thing is replaced by that. And then we're finding users, star from users, where created at is equal to that. So let's try it. There we go. Looks good. We've got email and created at. Of course, it looks different, but this is the correct answer, Cole Bailey. And we saw that because earlier we just manually selected it based off of that date, and it worked. Perfect. Moving on. So we're taking every user, taking their created at date, and then we're extracting the month name from that date, whatever the month is, combining them all, we're grouping them and counting how many exist. So how many users signed up in November. In our case, November was the highest. And then we're sorting as well. So let's start by just extracting the month name. So if we were to take a date like, where is that? This one right here. How do we get the month name from that? Because if we just do select month of that, it gives us a number. So what we can do instead is month name, and that gives us May. So we'll start with that. We'll do select month name of created at from users. And we get 500 different month names. Well, there's only 12 different ones, but 500 rows. So then what we want to do is a simple group by, and let's just give it a name like as month and group by month instead, rather than retyping that whole thing. Okay, so now we have 12, assuming that we have a date in every month of the year, which we probably do if we have 500, but we don't see how many there are. So then we need our second field. And our second field is count. We just do count star, just like that. And here we go, almost there. All that we need to do, I believe I gave this an alias of count. And then we also want to order by count, and we want it to be descending. Let's see if it works. There we go. November had the highest count as well with 52. Although it diverges, January was first, or was second, in my case, May, and then April. All right, so we use this month name, and we group them based off of that month. You could also just replace it with this, but it's easier just to type month, and then we're grouping them, counting them, and ordering them. Let me just put a note that this is challenge 3. Moving on, challenge 4, count the number of users with Yahoo emails. So for this one, it's a bit of a throwback. All we need to do is use like to figure out which emails have Yahoo in them. So we'll do a challenge 4. Let's do a select star from users, where we just need to say we're created at like, and we don't just want to say Yahoo. Remember, that's only going to find, and what am I saying, created at? Where email like Yahoo. We don't want to do that because that's only where email is exactly Yahoo. So we need these, the placeholders, but we could improve this a bit because this would match anything that had Yahoo in the string anywhere. And we could have someone's email be, yahootim@gmail.com. Or maybe someone's last name is Yahoo or something, Yahoo's. So we don't want that. So all we want to change is we'll do at yahoo.com. And this will guarantee that the string ends in at yahoo.com. So now let's take a look. Here we go. These are all yahoo.com emails. And then all we wanted to do was count how many. So rather than selecting star, we'll do select count star as Yahoo users, I think is what we called it, from users, where email is like Yahoo. And this time there's 170. And finally, challenge number 5, calculate the total number of users for each email host. So this one involves using like along with a case statement. It's a little bit complicated. So we're doing the same thing where we're counting the number of users, but we're doing it dependent on the provider. So we're going to have a case statement. So we'll just start right off with select. We'll do case, and I like to do my end as, and I think we called it provider. Yep. So we'll start with that, and we'll do from users. And what is our case? Well, we can start with this Yahoo one. We'll say when email is like Yahoo, then provider is Yahoo, right? So we'll do the same thing, just basically copy this and say when email is like at gmail.com, when it ends in Gmail, then Gmail. One thing I should note, there is a kind of nicer way of doing this if you are familiar with regular expressions, but that's out of the scope of this course. But if you do know it, you can get by with that. So we've also got Hotmail, then Hotmail. There we go. Okay. Then finally we'll have our else, which will just be other. So we have this provider field now, a column that will have Gmail, Yahoo, and Hotmail, or other. So let's do email comma case so that we can see the email side by side against what we pulled out of it. So we got 500. Let's take this one. Ray.moore1@gmail. We get Gmail. Ruben Medhurst at Yahoo. We get Yahoo. Perfect. So now it's just a matter of grouping them together and counting. So we can get rid of email. We don't need to display it. Then we're just going to group by provider, which is what we just created. So let's start with that. Cool. So we're grouping them together. Looks like we don't have any others in this case. We're going to group them, and then finally we're going to count. After our case statement ends, we add a comma, count star. Copy, paste. And there's just a small discrepancy, which is this is called total users. Also, this is sorted. Very easy to change. We'll call it as total users. I like to capitalize that actually. And then finally, well, let's just make sure that that works to start. Great. And now we need to sort it. Order by total users. And if we do it this way, you'll see that it's ascending. We want to do descending. All right. Now we've got all the providers on the left and their total number of users. Perfect. All right. So hopefully you enjoyed that chance of working with more data that isn't hard coded in. Some of it's dynamic, all of it's dynamic, 500 plus users. Next up in the next section, we're finally going to connect the database we just created, we just filled with all that seed data, and we're going to connect it with a web application and figure out how to get those to talk.